Hi there, Cosmic Family. My name is Yahliali. In this incarnation, the moon continues to be in Scorpio today, July 5th, and tomorrow it is going to move to Sagittarius late. So considering that yesterday the retrogradation of Neptune started, and in a few days it is going to be Saturn, the one that is going to be retrograde. And also, it is the ruler of the next full moon in Capricorn that is already active. This happens on July 10th. So these retrogradation phases, they could be manifest. They could manifest as a sensation of wanting to go inwards. Even though Venus is in Gemini, and this is one of the most social positions of Venus, because precisely enjoys sharing with different people, exchanging information. So the retrogradation of Neptune, that is the thing that I'm going to talk today. It is a process that goes until December 9th, where life is calling us to do this revision in the area in which we have in first place the degree 2 of Aries, and on October 22nd, Neptune, being retrograde, it is going to return to Pisces, where awakens in December in the degree 29. So we're going to talk about the phase in Pisces in another video. In this first one, in Aries, this is an observation of the steps that we have given, especially regarding new beginnings. And in general, when we talk about Neptune, this is about visions and dreams that we want to give, a path. We want to give a way. So this is about feeling and connecting, because Neptune is a transpersonal that goes beyond our mental structures, the structures of the rational mind. It is information, to call it in some way, of the intuitive level. And the thing is that if we don't give a structure with our mind and with our actions to those to that information, that stays in the potential plane. Or basically, there are things that we could perceive that, but we don't understand them. They stay in a chaotic state. I'm going to give a simple example. Let's suppose that a person is thinking that had an astral traveling, when he or she went to sleep, but actually was a common dream where his or her unconscious gave messages. So the person is confused, and in the end, it cannot use the information to apply that to his or her experience. This is the thing, the intuitive information, it is for doing things here in the plane of the matter. Or could happen the inverse way. Perhaps we are feeling something with our intuition, perhaps a situation that is off, and we let pass that feeling. We don't pay attention to that, but in the end it result that it was like we were feeling. So these are polarities, of course, of Neptune. So the movements of this planet are speaking to us of processes of approaching to the unity, a unity that we human beings, we are approaching from this plane. And this is the energetical unity. This is the feeling of unity that for us many times could seem to be very, very distant, because of how is the experience on Earth, because how is with living with an ego or living in the illusion of separation. But well, we are actually part of that unity, whether if we are conscious about that or not, whether if we are remembering that or not. And the visions and the paths that actually respond to the soul are going to be a vital part in the process of approaching unity, of approaching the infinite, what that also represents Neptune, that I always associate this with the Ein Sof of Kabbalah, if you want to investigate. So we have to understand that accessing to our soul, feeling our soul, listening to our soul, in the most symbolical sense, but also experimental, it is a path in which we have to dissolve the illusions of the mind. And the illusions of the mind could operate in one extreme with Neptune, for example, wanting to believe in something that actually responds to a fantasy, that is a self-deceit, because this could be produced because we could idealize people or experiences in this wheel of wanting them to be real. And then we are omitting important information. There are perspectives with Neptune. Perhaps, this could be linked with seeing a potential in something, but, it is far away from reality right now. And could also be this will of escaping of a reality that we are perceiving as very painful. So we could put all of this in one polarity, and then we have the other that is exactly the vice versa effect. I mean, could be feeling a situation internally, and this doesn't matter if we are perceiving that situation as negative or positive. We are feeling that situation, it is part of the spiritual growth. It is a passage that is approaching, is helping us to approach ourselves to visions and intuitions that we have, but probably as they could be things that we cannot control. The mind starts to doubt and to enter in chaos, and we could feel lost, and we disconnect ourselves from the sense of the experience, that everything has a sense, and sadness could emerge, and apathy. All of this is also Neptune. So of course there are points of integration, and we are here to work on that. And because it is in Aries, all of this is involved in our individuality, in who we are, not as a question that we need to find a definite answer, because this is a path to reveal. In fact, wanting to find a definite answer, it is closing ourselves in an idea of identity. And also this has to do with our role in our world, in our world, with our desires, sorry, I mixed up, and with observing if we are really investing what is required to create what our soul came here to express. And this is very, very important, because if we are putting the focus in something that responds to an ego that is in conflict with that, what we are feeling inwards, the advancement is going to be with a lot of difficulties because of the inner battles in first place. Could be, disillusionment. Disillusionment could present, or there are doors that are not going to be opened. So this is going to depend on, the lessons that we need to acquire. And with investing time, I am referring to the time, the actions, and the patience, because Saturn, again, it is in conjunction, so it is very involved in this. And it is all of these transits, all of these aspects are part of the full moon in Capricorn. Therefore, the path, it is going to be opened while we are taking action over the possibilities in the world of the matter. But at the same time, this requires surrendering to something that we don't have references, in our mind, which could also be a challenge. And beyond this, we have the entrance of Uranus in Gemini. I mean, Saturn and Neptune will connect with Uranus in Gemini, and they are connecting with Pluto retrograde in Aquarius. So that's why, these days are a little bit shaky. We could feel them this way. So Uranus in Gemini, apart from the potential, the creative potential of our ideas, in its shadow, this could be disorder, stress, because the mind is overloaded with a lot of thoughts, possibilities, or information that is not contributing. So that is very important. Tomorrow I'm going to expand on the full moon, but with Saturn and Neptune and Mercury in Leo in a few days being retrograde, we could feel that there are things that are stopped. And it is a time to take care of, things that were pendant, that weren't resolved. Or, of course, this is related to the energies of each planet. But in the case of Saturn and Neptune, we are talking about shared circumstances that require as much as we have to give ourselves to life and to the soul. concrete and responsible actions in reality. And those responsible actions that are coming from the maturity that we are developing, the more that we turn aware of how our decisions impact in our experience. It is not the same to try to lie to a person than saying the truth. It is not the same to establish a boundary in something that is not contributing than not doing it. It is not the same to to take action with intentions of escapism or to deal with the conflicts. It is not the same to use our aggressiveness, to move forward than projecting that in a violent way with other people. We are all learning in here. The thing is this wheel of learning. This is very important, and there are a lot of levels. This labor becomes subtle, more subtle and subtle, from the inside to the outside. This is very, very important. I'm going to close this video here today. Thank you, everyone, and see you in the next video. Ciao, ciao.